get the video on. Look, I got the selfie stick tripod mount thingy I'm walking around with, but I have no idea how well this is going to actually stabilize, so I apologize if we're sort of bouncing around a little bit. I'm going to apologize. Anyway, look, Ravensburger came in with this giant puzzle tournament of pieces thing. They gave them like 180 tables or some ungodly amount of tables, and there's been nobody in there this entire time. I have no idea what the attraction of the draw on this is going to be, but man, this place has been a ghost town the whole time. So look, we're going to do a lot like Aardwolf does, where we just sort of walk up and down aisles. We'll probably show you some different stuff than he does. We're going to stop at most of the same places he does. We're going to end up showing you some different things just because, look, this is Brant. I'm a little interested in some different things than Gary is. So I hope that's okay with everybody. I'm also going to not selfie this much, largely because I'm not that good looking. I mean, I'm better looking than Aardwolf, but I'm not that good looking. So, there's the bits bins, all kinds of organizer stuff. A lot of accessory people here this year, which is not a bad thing. It's kind of cool, but a lot of accessory people. Some pretty snazzy dice. There's a lot of dice folks here this year, which is kind of cool. This is clearly a company that didn't show up, so they just threw some tables out there to play, and that's fine. One thing they did a little differently this year is Artist Alley has usually been sort of tucked in the back of the exhibit hall, kind of out of the way. This year, you can see we got a straight alley the whole way down the exhibit hall. And they ran Artist Alley down the middle right here. So in the middle of every up and down aisle, you're going to have some artists along the way. A lot of really cool stuff. We're not going to walk down Artist Alley. We're going to go up and down. So we're going to cross that a whole lot. I'm just letting you know why you're going to see a lot of art stuff pop up here and there. All right, so Paracle, maybe Paraclete, I'm not sure. Gathering Darkness. All right, so we got all sorts of minis, special collectible minis. One of the things you get with these guys is they've got a lot of bins in there where it's like $2 a mini or something, and so a lot of people looking for specific individual minis. And then a lot of the more rare collectible ones kind of on sale here. So a lot of pretty cool stuff. I don't want to zoom in too much and spend too much time on the minis, but yeah, there's a bunch of them there to work with. All right. The guys doing Final Girl are here. Foreteller's got a whole lot of pretty snazzy looking minis stuff. This is decidedly not Wargaming stuff, but still sort of blowing stuff up and killing people and whatever else. Some cool wood crafting things. So this is actually Sea Dog Games, which Sea Dog does a bunch of Wargaming adjacent kinds of things. And they do some 3D printing and some other crafty stuff. So you can see lots of naval minis, some pretty cool naval minis for a whole lot of different kinds of games. Some snazzier than others. A lot of these have space to add figures on the boats, which is kind of nice. And a lot of them can be customized, so you buy the hull and then you start adding the accessory stuff on top of that. They also have their own Tech Commander game. If you're thinking that looks a lot like BattleTech, you're not wrong. There's a reason it looks a lot like BattleTech. But the minis are pretty cool, and they've got some snazzy stuff to it all. So there you are. This is Sea Dog Games. They're a local Columbus-based crew here, and they do some quick and dirty demos here. All right, Gatekeeper is a dice company. They've got cool packaging, a lot of different dice stuff. All right, so I'm going to walk over here. So the Tech Commander guys went a little nuts with the giant visual display. This really is very cool. It's pretty neat. We got some static photos of it on the site also that you can check out. The biggest challenge you run into with the Tech Commander game here, this particular display, is there's nothing in here that screams, hey, come play with me. I'm right over here at the Sea Dog Games booth. So it's hard to get overly invested in, hey, I want to play this game, when you don't even know where to find the game to play with. So that's a bit of a hassle. This one's an airbrush demo, so a lot of pretty snazzy minis going on here. We'll try and zoom in a little bit for you. There you go, some different minis to take a look at. The challenge there is, again, there's nothing in here that screams, hey, here's where to go do this stuff with us. over here, we do have the paint and take. The paint and take has moved out of the game hall and into the exhibit hall. So they give you a free mini. They'll punch your badge when you do it. They give you a free mini and the painting supplies to sit there and try your hand at painting a mini, and you get a free one and you get to take it home with you. For the longest time, Reaper sponsored these. I don't know if Reaper's still officially doing it. They're just reusing, or they're just reusing old cups. I honestly don't know. All right, we're going to wander back away from some of these big static displays, which, quite frankly, are pretty flippin' cool. They're just, you can't get to any of them to really get up close on anything. There's some superheroes doing some stuff. But we're going to wander back into the actual exhibits as we go here. There we go. Let's zoom ourselves back out. All right. Cool Stuff Inc. used to bring a whole bunch of actual tabletop game stuff. Pretty much the only thing they do now are magic cards and hand out free bags. The grocery bags are actually pretty damn good. All right. Who do we got up front here? We got the Nutheads. Rock, Paper, Saurus. There we go. All right. So these are a little more family-oriented games. There's a chess variant going on here. All right. All Play has some giant-ass board game bags, the kind that you can really hurt somebody with. But they've got a lot of smaller, quicker, more family-oriented games that they're happy to show you and demo a lot of. It's a really well-organized booth. I apologize if my voice sounds like I've been scouring a pan with my throat, but that's just sort of the price I'm paying this year for not being as prepared for all of this as usual. There's the other side of Gatekeeper. And here's some more of All Play stuff. Again, pretty snazzy displays, a lot of neat stuff to do. We're going to work our way around these guys. All right, 25th Century Games. A whole lot of family game kind of stuff. Here's one of several different costume booths. As you can imagine, Bayonet wanted to take a look at quite a few of those. Here's the other side of Foreteller. Again, we're just sort of working our way through here. There's Witchborn. All right, we've got KTBH. Who do we have? Fireside Games. These are the dudes with Castle Panic. So Castle Panic is a pretty popular tower defense game. We're sort of step off to the side here. It's pretty popular. A lot of folks are big fans of Castle Panic. Again, it's a straight up tower defense, but with the minis aspect to it. A lot of kids really dig playing this one in families. These guys have some pretty snazzy sort of snap together hexagonal minis terrain. We're going to step out of the way of these guys, take a look at some of the terrain. And then there's different, you can see different accessories that snap onto it. So again, for mini stuff, pretty useful. For tabletop stuff, a little less so. All right, try and get my Zoom to cooperate here. We got some children's hospital stuff going on. These guys are sitting here custom printing all this 3D stuff, and they're 3D printing on site as well, so you can sort of see it happen as it's going. All right, we're crossing Artist Alley again, and a whole lot of people in our way, so we're going to try and work our way around these guys. All right, so a lot of pretty snazzy, specific media license art that we got to work our way around. Black hole rainbows. No idea. It just sort of looks kind of cool, but no idea what's anything about that one. All right. Still got people taking up the entire aisle where we can't walk around them at all, so we're sort of moving at someone else's pace because that's just the pace they're moving at. All right. Castaway Chronicles. Okay, so we got some dinosaurs on the tabletop there. Be cooler if they were 3D, but hey, 2D stand-ups still work and they're still fun. All right, so the mugs are kind of nifty. I'll walk over and show off the mugs here a little bit. Variety of different class-specific mugs. All kinds of different, fairly cool mugs that folks can take a look at. And, all right, so we're going to keep walking. There's actually a food vendor open in here. Man, there's just not near enough of them. All right, so old Cranky Man's doing a whole lot of card singles. Good for them. Happy that somebody's here to do it. There's the National Parks game. All right, first games are going to come back over here and talk to these guys a little later. These are the guys that do The Boys, This Are Gonna Hurt. You can see it right there. Banzai Cat covered this for us a while ago on the site, so you've seen that from us before. If you're fans of the TV show, there's the game. They got a couple of expansions coming with it. There's our Perseverance guys again. All right, Brex Works. Looks like dinosaur sorts of stuff. There's some more dice. Again, a lot of dice dudes here this year. A lot of really fancy dice guys, a lot of really not so fancy dice guys. Artisanal dice, great. We need artisanal dice. All right, hey, there's some narrative art. Castlescape, lots of sort of build your castle as you're fighting the game out. Fairly cool. There's Tabletop Gamers. Those guys are doing good business and handing out lots of ribbons. These guys are planning bank heists. Good for them. Dragon Shield's giving away all sorts of card sleeves and such. All right, we're back around to Burnt Island Games there. Who else we got? Cults of the Deep going here. So that's BA Games. What else we got here? Grimoire Games, Mind Your Business, Envyborn Games. Okay, so we're back to some more dice folks here. All kinds of dice folks. These, these guys, the metallic dice guys, Fanroll's actually got some pretty snazzy, fancy dice. A couple of really ginormous dice. You can see these things here just to put a hand in the picture. These are some pretty ginormous dice. All right, Gray Fox Games got a couple of pretty cool looking sort of minis and component porn heavy kinds of games. We consistently see these tables fairly full in the gaming hall, but I can't really tell you much about how they play. I can tell you Ad Magic is not here. Here's Czech Games Edition. These guys make Galaxy Trucker and Starship Captains and a lot of pretty popular sort of long playing kinds of family games. Here's the back side of board game bags and such. So again, lots of table space that these guys are doing here. All right, we're going to loop our way around here. We're back to the front of the hall, which is why it's a bit of a zoo up here. Chip Theory Games has a lot of different individual pieces. Hoplomachus. What else we got over here? Oh, there's a whole bunch of the Too Many Bones games. So there's a couple of different ones here. A lot of the different Too Many Bones. There's Undertow. There's some Bones coffee. So if you need some coffee, we've actually got game-branded coffee, just in case you needed some game-branded coffee. All right, it's Bezier Games. Suburbia is one of their big flagship games, Cat in the Box. These guys do a lot of game demo there, where you can sit down and play the games with them. There's Leader Games. Somewhere Cole is floating around here. We will try and track down Cole Worley a little later and say hi. We'll see if we can't grab a moment or two with him. No idea what Fantastic Factories is doing. They appear to be building and manufacturing. All right, so here's Decision Games. Decision, obviously everybody knows who they are. Hi, Stigler. Hope you're having fun taking a look at Decision Games. The real question is going to be how many, if any, games do they have on their shelf that they're not supposed to be selling, because there's always something that is, exclusive to a different publisher that they end up having on the shelf. Doesn't appear to be a whole lot this year, but look, we all know who Decision is. We all know what they sell. We all know kind of what they've got and how popular they may or may not be doing it. So there you go. Wow. Doc's actually having a conversation with somebody he's not growling at. That was kind of cool. Who knew we could see that? You've got video evidence of Doc not growling at somebody. All right, some more board game bags. Man, those things look fancy. All right. Here goes Amigo Games, making some stuff for families. Totally cool. Keep families gaming. They'll become wargamers eventually. All right, here's some more cards and games and gizmos and gadgets. All right, what else we got here? Fill in the game. All right, so if you want to fill in the game, you can do that. These guys appear to be like a dating service for gamers. Best Coast pairings. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. I think they're trying to set up gamers for dates. I don't really know. All right, again, we're crossing Artist Alley again, so you're going to see some more artsy kind of stuff. All right, lots of people in the way of that booth, so we're going to skip it, and I'm not really going to be able to tell you what that is. So this is the Ohio Retro Gamer Community, or TORG. Yes, they ran off with the TORG name, go figure, not really sure. But it's digital stuff. It's a lot of 8-bit pixels and digital stuff. There's Teddies versus Monsters. Cool for them. 10 spin. Why roll dice when you can spin them? Oh yeah, these are the guys that have the rocket-shaped dice. They also have sort of a cupcake game where they sell cupcake stuff, I guess. The Flawed Trading Card Game. No idea. See it here? That's you know as much as I do about it at this point. All right. So the Crokinole games, very popular over in the exhibit hall, which is kind of funny. We've got the Quick and the Undead. All right, so we're going back past these guys. And what do we got? The Quick and the Undead, Block and Key, City Builder, Ancient World. Might have to come check out a City Builder game because I'm a sucker for City Builder games. Yes, I am a sucker for city builder games. All right, so there goes the Fire Tower with a couple of other smaller games over there. Sunfire Factions Against Fate. All right, Nate Lovett's been parked there the whole time, and I've seen like one person talk to him. I kind of feel bad. They've got this whole artist alley thing, and like hardly anybody's talking to the artists. It's a little weird. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Lots of leather goods. Again, a lot of clothing and accessory manufacturers floating around this year. These guys we saw last year or two, and they've got some pretty cool light-up dragons. We'll see another one a little later with some very clever anime artwork on glass that lights up well. All right, here's our boy at the Dietz Foundation. You can see Littoral Commander. Still got some copies, so those of you looking for one for sale, you're totally fine, dude. Get in the way. It's not a problem. It's the exhibit hall, man. There's people in the way everywhere. So, but yeah, Littoral Commander's not sold out yet. They do have some they saved for Origins in order to be able to sell. Whatever they don't sell here at Origins goes on the website and will probably be gone the next day. If you really want one, you should have come to Origins to get it. Otherwise, it's your own damn fault. So there it is. Visual proof that some copies continue to exist. All right. They are taking pre-orders on Littoral Commander Baltic here as well. We got Free at Last on the shelf here. 3 Years of War, Supercharged. There's Sharks. They're showing off Sharks a bunch. A lot of interest in Sharks from other people. These guys are game manufacturers, so these are samples of games they printed for other people. All right, who do we got over here? Oh, there's Hatchet. I don't know that Danny's here, but Hatchet's got a whole bunch of stuff that we showed you, like Tribes of the Wind. This one's also got the one where they're landing the airplane, Acropolis, Iki, a lot of these things that are pretty popular with other folks. Uh-oh. All right, let's get out of the way of the customers here. We saw a bunch of those at Gamma Expo, and Hatchet's always a wonderful group of folks to talk to. So here we go, $1 Million Doodle, just tell me what to do. There's one about how to lose a guy. There's another costume one, nice folks. Bayonet bought a very expensive dress there. All right, there's Enterprise Games. We're going to come back around to Enterprise, and we'll spend a few minutes lingering on their booth. We're going to keep walking for the moment. Shovel Knight, the miniatures board game based on the computer game, I think, but couldn't tell you for certain. Barnacle Bay does look kind of cool. Some of the components look neat. It's more of an adventure board game, certainly not a war game. Flying Cloud Fulfillment. So those guys are willing to fulfill stuff for other publishers that need help shipping stuff. Stuff a Legend, the board game mission. Yeah, so Third World Studios got some pretty nifty stuff. Some of those things look cool. They're just not very wargamey. That's kind of a theme here. So there we go with the other side of Leader Games. What do we got here? So Indie Press Revolution, we're going to take a second and walk around over here because there's some pretty cool stuff over here at IPR. This is where you find lots of obscure, off-the-wall, experimental sorts of indie games. What's cool about IPR is these are all really different, innovative kinds of systems, and so it's not just like, you know, let's grab the 5e mechanics and graft it on anything we can. These guys are doing a lot of really different stuff. So that's where you get Fiasco. Tiny Tome we grabbed off of Kickstarter. So all sorts of other stuff. Here we go, Thirsty Sword Lesbians. What else we got? Improv for Gamers. Fiasco has always been popular for a couple of years now. What else we got? Laser Kittens and more kittens. All right. Once Upon a Time, Nations and Cannons was in here as well. I think they're over at the World of Game Design booth these days. So if you're interested in that one, that's where you'll find it. All right, there's the Fate Condensed book as well, if you're interested in Fate stuff. All right, there's Bezier. Okay, so Cephalofair, everybody's favorite. There's Frostgrave. We got Gloomhaven going on here. So, look, it's Gloomhaven, man. This didn't really sneak up on anybody. Y'all know what Frosthaven and Gloomhaven are. I call it Frostgrave. I apologize. That's the one from Osprey. It's Frosthaven, Gloomhaven. All right, what do we got over here? Terra Mystica Zoo. So Capstone Games with a lot of their very popular. Ark Nova is popular as hell. We keep seeing it on all sorts of tables around here. No idea what's going on with beer and bread. But we've seen Ark Nova on tables everywhere around here. So Ascension Tactics. All right, so Stoneblade's got their Ascension series games out. You're going to see a bunch of those things floating around out here. I like the nice sort of ad hoc walls that these guys are able to put up to sort of bunker in around here. That is a handy way to do things. All right, so Let's rotate ourselves here. All right, classic mechanisms with a twist of weird. All right, so Weird Giraffe Games. There's a bookseller. Not really sure what they've got, but you know, we're going to keep on moving. All right, OPH Games. Okay, so we're back around to the other side of Enterprise. We're going to take a minute. We're going to show off a whole lot of Enterprise stuff for you. Why? Just to make all y'all jealous that aren't here. You're not here because you suck. Like, that's why you wouldn't be here, right? So there's all the new stuff from GMT. So People Power, Barracks Emperors, Border Reavers, British Way. Yes, I took a copy of British Way home with me. Come on, people. Crazy. So look, they're all the GMT favorites that you know and love. And I'm sure somebody out there's going, well, I already got all that. Good, buy one for your friend. All right, bunch of Last 100 Yards games. Cataclysm, Churchill, which very specifically says this is not a war game. People still call it a war game. There's a bunch of the Panzer games, the BAORs, Flying Colors. Look, this is exactly what you would expect from GMT, right? Here's some of the other stuff that's currently in print-ish, or at least still available, new and shrink. So the Wing Leaders. We're going to get over to the used table here in just a second. So Enterprise is still flying the flag very high for traditional Hex Encounter tabletop wargaming. They do have Votes for Women here. They cut a deal with Fort Circle to have some of those for sale because we've got a bunch of those events in our over at the Wargame HQ, and they've been selling out. They've been very popular. Here's some of the non-GMT stuff that they've got down here. So some other wargaming stuff that's not GMT, some stuff from Compass and some other publishers. One of the Undaunted from Osprey. Here's the magazines, a bunch of C3Is, some smaller packages. And here's a bunch of the older stuff. These things are on sale, guys. Y'all should have been here and buy a whole bunch of pretty cool stuff cheap. That's older stuff, potentially out of print, potentially a little bit older. Seriously, folks, the way we're going to get wargame companies come back to Origins is if they have wargamers back at Origins to sell stuff to. Folks want to complain there's no wargaming at Origins. Guys, we had over 65 events worth of wargames. We were busting at the seams. We're going to need more space next year, and we're adding GMs to what we had from this year. So, yeah, we got plenty of wargaming at Origins. All right, so this is the one I was telling you about that had some really snazzy anime-inspired artwork. Apologize for the background noise. I don't know how well this translates on the video, but it looks really damn cool. These are pretty excellent. Well lit, would really look good backlit as well. This is one that sort of caught my eye with Ardwolf yesterday. There's another one up there, some folks in a loving embrace. Either there, she's about to push him over a rail. So, a couple of fairly snazzy images. All right, let's keep walking. Let's keep walking. All right. What do we have over here? We got some dicey devices. Endanger the game. Okay, so T-Punk tees. They actually sell tea at Origins. I'm not kidding. The Sioux Dragon. These guys do some pretty nifty leather work. And there we go. There's Gila RPGs. There's some homemade tables. That's the Homestead guys in Grafton. They make some tables. We're going to see some cooler tables here in a little bit. Again, going back past some of Artist Alley where we keep crossing Artist Alley. So we're going to do this a bunch. I already warned you it was coming. We're going to keep crossing Artist Alley. I know we're not live, but I hope I'm not giving anybody like a Dramamine meeting headache or anything. Kess Entertainment looks, so there's some Mega Man. All right, so there's some anime-inspired stuff. These guys, Vesuvius Media, are doing this catapult feud game where you get to shoot catapults at each other. It's very reminiscent of the old kids' games where you used to launch ballista at each other, where you build the castle and try and knock your opponent's castle down. It's fun, man. You get the little shit up. It's kind of cool. All right, Kittens versus Corgis. Get to pre-order that one. There's some more mini stuff down there we're going to skip right on past. Partly because my hand is going numb. Okay, so look. These guys are 3D printing game tables. And they're 3D printing them in a variety of components that you can sit here and watch. And it's kind of cool that they're 3D printing some very nifty designs for your game tables. But look, guys, these things, the STL files and the supplies end up costing more than one of Carolina game tables. So it's a little nuts. They do look cool. Not going to deny that. They absolutely look cool. But the cost is through the roof. It's ridiculous. Pendlehaven's got some cool books and RPG accessories, and then a big adventure board game there as well, so that's kind of nice. This Elderwood Academy, we're not sure if this is Wormwood under a different name, It looks an awful lot like Wormwood, but we're not sure if it is or not. Need to catch my breath here. All right, Small Furry Games, Dreamvale Studios. Going back across Artist Alley. We're just going to zip right on by the artist unless there happens to be something cool to take a look at. Okay. There's Boda Games Manufacturing. So again, making manufacturers for somebody else. Rose Micro Solutions are selling glasses for micro painting, which is probably necessary for some of us old folk. Geeky Endeavors, again, lots of dice, lots of accessories. All right, what else we got going on over here? There are the Goliath coins, collectible display coins. So these serve absolutely no game purpose whatsoever, but they look pretty cool if you wanted to hang them or set them up on a table somewhere. So, John Carter. What else we got? Jane Austen. Another Blade. Frank Frazetta. Looks very Ardwolf. I have to make sure Ardwolf knows about that one. All right, let's keep on moving. Bam Bam Games. Okay, cool. Glad they're here. Trying to do something. There's, what do we got? Proud partner of, Elf Creek Games. That's who this was. Honey Buzz. A lot of, again, a lot of family games, a lot of kid-friendly kinds of games, a lot of relatively easier to play, lighter weight kinds of games. Easy Roller Dice Company does some cool stuff. They also do some really expensive, obnoxiously snotty stuff. But that said, their dice bags are awesome. Their double-layer thick felt dice bags are really cool. My wife actually has one for her lens ball for her camera. You're going to see a lot of people walking around with these big fancy mugs. Those big fancy metal mugs are the ones that you get to refill unlimited times at the drink station here. So a lot of people are paying like $50 for the unlimited refill soft drinks. Norse Foundry makes good dice, fancy dice. Gooey Cube does a whole lot of different fantasy adventure stuff. All right, we're gonna speed up here a little bit, keep walking. All right, here we go. Indie Game Studios got Terraforming Mars, among other stuff. So again, some smaller press stuff, high production quality, but smaller press stuff. All right. There goes our Loyalty or Liberty guys from Black Labrador Creations. We're going to come back and see some more from them later. We've already had our media team come and talk to these dudes. So, there they are. This is American War of Independence Deck Builder is what this is. All right. Our guys at Strange Machine Games, these are the ones that have Robotech Reconstruction. We'll come back around and catch it on the flip side here in a minute. And we'll take a look at it over there. All right, so Green Ronin. We've seen Chris walking around a few times. Lots of snazzy games. Going to come back and spend some money with them here in a little bit. There's Norse Foundry again, the other side of their fancy dice stuff. Smirk and Dagger always has a giant stack of stuff here with a lot of family-friendly sorts of games. Tomes and Treasures. Looks to be gimmicks and gadgets and a couple of books and stuff. All right, we're going to go back over here, pick up at Black Oak Workshop. Lots of pins and such there. Dice Advent calendars, they're very cool. You're going to open the Advent calendar and you're going to get 4 full sets of dice, plus, or sorry, 3 full sets of dice, plus a couple of individuals here and there. Look, Black Oak are the nicest dudes in the business. We love them. They're fantastic people. They've got some really cool stuff every year. Take a look at the dice bags that they've got back up there. Pause for a moment, let you ooh and ah over some of the dice bags. There we go. And we'll schmooze our way across some of the dice boxes. Really cool stuff. These smaller dice towers are pretty nifty in that it's a very small footprint, but you can actually fit their larger than normal dice through those dice towers. So that's pretty handy. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going to keep on walking back over here. Keep on moving through the exhibit hall. All right, crossbows and catapults. If you're thinking that looks a lot like Catapult Feud, you're not wrong. They're still shooting stuff at each other. All right. So we're going to keep walking. You can actually press some pennies over here if you really feel like it. There's Restoration Games. They've got the Return to Dark Tower game that I'm sure Gary's going to come buy one of. These dudes are selling bags all the damn time, except that they don't actually have the bags here. They all ship in January sometime. But they've been shipping in January every year. Skyfox Games has lots of cards and collectibles. Free RPG day if you want to not have to buy some RPGs. All right, lots of plushies with pockets, more artists. All right, here's Crystal Cast. We're gonna have to come back over here and get our official Origins die. Why? Because we get one every year. So there go the Crystal Cast guys with their fancy Origins dice. What else we got? Okay, so here's Modifius. They've got the Star Trek and Fallout and Octone Cthulhu and all the Conan stuff on sale because they got to clearance it out after they either lost or gave up the license. The Homeworld stuff is here. They do have 5 parsecs from home and 5 leagues from the borderland. They do have the Skyrim board game as well, the Skyrim RPG as well, and all the Dune stuff. So there's a whole lot of stuff here at Modifius that lots of you are probably fans of. It's the Star Trek stuff. So you can there's the John Carter stuff. Again, really good game. The problem is nobody knows who the hell John Carter is anymore. It's just us old folks. All right, there's more of Pendlehaven's stuff for some game expansions and some of the different games that they've got. Some of the different accessory products. Celtic Cyclopedia. So, I mean, there's some pretty cool stuff that these guys are doing. A lot of Viking and Celtic sorts of things. All right, let's keep moving. Deep Space Salvage. Some cool exomech statue. Okay, so some neat mech kind of stuff, right? Giant battling robots. All right. Some more dungeon artists. Some more woodcraft kinds of things. What do we got over here? All right, so this is the other side of Modifius. There's all the Fallout stuff. Tons of the Fallout minis all stacked up over here. If you're a Fallout minis fan, it's a lot to work with here. All right, Fable Makers. We're going to keep on going. There's the other side of Crystal Cast with the crowd. All right, zip right on past the artists here. Let's keep on keeping on. What else we got? This is something that's happened a lot more. We've got the board game rundown. We're going to talk about games, right? We're going to shoot some video up here. The problem is a lot of these dudes are doing coming soon on Kickstarter instead of actually having a game you can buy. So who knows? All right, Papers and Games got this distilled strategy game. A lot of people are like, ooh, hey, I can play a game about getting drunk. And they're really interested in that one. No idea how it plays. Just seen a lot of people walking around with it.
Do that then. I'll be back.
All right, the Bodhana Group. There we go, custom board. Okay, community workshops. Who knows? Not really my thing. We're just going to keep on moving. Get some clothing stuff. So if you need obnoxious Hawaiian shirts, all kinds of stuff there. Cheap games in here. There you go. They've got all sorts of stuff on sale. What do they got on sale here? Not a Trap. There we are. MSRP now $25. Might have to come back and buy a couple of those guys from folks. That might be the Troll Lords hiding out in there. These are the Dungeon Crawl Classics guys. And Mutant Crawl Classics. So they got a raffle coming up on Sunday. They've got all sorts of DCC sorts of things there. All right, Japanime stuff. We're going to zip right on by and we're going to cut these guys a little short. We're not going to completely loop Japanime. All right. Here we are looping around Dungeon Crawl Classics. And we're going to go past World of Game Design. So, yeah, World of Game Design is going to end up with a whole lot of money from us. Why? Because they got a lot of really cool shit. So, a lot of old school essential stuff. A lot of minis, miniature RPGs. There's Nations and Cannons. So from Flagbearer, again, we had those guys on a podcast and an interview with us. They've got a bunch of Zweihander stuff, so if you want a Zweihander starter kit, got it. There's a bunch of the old school essentials accessories, so including a bunch of hex crawl stuff. So we're gonna take a look at a bunch of the hex crawl stuff a little later. So all kinds of things from. Here we go, Level Up Advanced 5th Edition. So these are a bunch of accessories for 5th Edition stuff. And again, very high production values. We thumbed through them a little bit the other day. Cubicle 7, we're going to zip right on by. They make a bunch of the Warhammer stuff, the current Warhammer license for role-playing stuff. So we're going to go on right on past them. There's some more dice guys. I told you there was a lot of dice dudes here. Go figure. Not really sure why, but there's a lot of dice guys here. So guess what? Elder Dice, a lot of more dice guys. Okay, Free League. Again, gonna end up leaving some money with Free League. Why? Because they've got the T2K Urban Operations here. So they've also got some of the T2K accessories and decks. And then there's a bunch of Forbidden Lands stuff, including some of the new Forbidden Lands ones that, like the Book of Beasts that we just brought out, that we mentioned. There's the Blood March, both of which we just mentioned last week in Tuesday News Day. All right, guys, we're a little more than halfway through the exhibit hall. We're still working on this though, right? Okay, so Magic Mussolini. There's some snazzy stickers. We'll probably bring Bayonet back over to check out some of those stickers. Let her come see. I've actually been wondering where that sticker one was because I saw them earlier when we were walking around the exhibit hall and then couldn't ever find them again. Now I know where it is. It's in the 700 aisle. I'll come back for that. Okay, so, hey, you can try to win a duck. Some superhero ducks. All right, Dice Dungeons. Hey, guess what? They're selling dice. Who saw that coming? All right. Chick-fil-A's actually open. Man, they're actually selling stuff here. Who knew? Haven't been a whole lot of concessions open. Not nearly as many as there should have been all along. All right, what do we got here? Furia Games. Good for Furia Games. Look, here's Chaosium. We're going to loop back around the other side of Chaosium in a minute, too. Here's a whole bunch of Cthulhu stuff. They do have the Pendragon starter sets. That was one of the first things we came over here to grab. Hey, Bob, check it out. There's Rivers of London, in case you were wondering. There's a bunch more Cthulhu things. We're going to come back around to them. All Game Terrain finally showed up. That booth was empty for like 2 days until they finally got here. Glad they're here, but, you know, they were not for a while. All right, here's some. That's the closest you'll get to Catalyst stuff is Rim Alternus being here. Here's Limithron. Lots of fairly snazzy pirate ship kind of stuff. Supporting Pirate Borg. Good for them. Catalyst is not here. They're up in Calgary or somewhere else this week because they were already committed to it. And they're not even here right now. All right, so here's the other side of Free League. We got some Dragonbane going on. There's Morkborg, Coriolis, Blade Runner, Alien. All the usual suspects, right? All the fantastic production values you would expect from Free League. We'll loop back around past Indie Game Developer Network. We're going to keep on keeping on here. Okay, so there's Outset. Not really sure what kind of games they got. But Tea Time Adventures, Birds of a Feather. All right, so Snowbright Studios got all the kid-friendly kinds of stuff. Here's the other side of Cubicle 7 with the rest of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay sorts of things. Again, a lot of really high production values. Death on the Reich, Enemy of the Shadows, Power Behind the Throne. So a lot of that Enemy Within campaign from way back when. A lot of that classic stuff. So if you're a fan of Warhammer 40K, that's where to find it. Here's the rest of World of Game Design. Here's some more Nations and Cannons kinds of stuff. Core rules. So the Misfire deck, some additional accessories. Again, Nations and Cannons, pretty cool. Not a lot of role-playing in the American War of Independence, and they've got them. All right. We've got Carolina Game Tables we're going to come back around to here in a second. All right, we're coming up on, we're going to skip Arcane Wonders in order to spend a few minutes here at Studio 2. The Adventuria adventure card game based on The Dark Eye, the Schwarze Auge. For anybody that was in Europe back in the 80s, knows The Dark Eye. They just know it in German as their Schwarze Auge. Let's keep on schmoozing over here. All right, so some Delta Green stuff. What else we got here? Mini Dungeons, Thunderscape, Pure Steam, Amazing Tales. There's a whole lot of Torg. Fate Forge has some fantastic production values. If you're a fan of 5e stuff, the Fate Forge stuff is well worth looking into. There's a lot of Delta Green material here. If you're a fan of Delta Green, this is where to find it. There's a whole lot more Fate Forge stuff on tables. We've got a handful of those things. I can tell you, they look gorgeous. They really are pretty cool. All right. This is a variety of very snazzy looking role-playing adventures. The Usagi Yojimbo role-playing game. If anybody's a fan of the old comic book, that one's pretty cool. Here we go. Oz the Dark and Terrible role-playing game. That's got to be interesting. Might have to come back and thumb through that a little later. Can't really stop and do it while we're on the video with you guys. So, what else we got? Creatures from Fairy Tale and Myth. Odin's Path. There's Colonial Gothic. We've seen a bunch of these over the years, and they're always kind of snazzy looking. We just got to come check them out sometime and actually thumb through them all. Siege and Command from World of Hinterlands. All right, we're going to sneak behind these guys. There's the whole Traveler section. Look, we're not going to spend too long on Traveler. We'd be here all day. Plus, Gary's going to cover it anyway. Just go watch his video. It's Paranoia. Can't figure out what the fascination with that is. It's a great con game, convention game, not con like con artist. A lot of Arcanist stuff. There we go, some Soul Mist. And what do we got over here? Whoa, Interceptor. Holy cow. Didn't know this was back. It's kind of cool. There's some old Earth Dawn stuff. So it looks like they're bringing a variety of the Phasma things back. Well, that's kind of neat. All right, what else we got over here? Shadow of the Demon Lord, Punk Apocalyptic. Got a copy of Hollow Earth Expedition last year. Pretty cool to read. There's all the Savage World Rift stuff, which if you're going to do rifts, do it in Savage World so you don't go nuts with the dice. All right, Carolina game tables. Some of the best and coolest game tables out there. Some of the nicest people out there. There's a kitchen game table. Pretty large, fancy one. That's all felt on the inside. Again, this is a furniture-making family that happens to do game tables as well. You can see they've got the bench seats that open up. They've got coffee tables that open up. They've got a variety of different tables that they're willing to work with you there on. There's tote bags and dice trays and some more fancy artwork. We're going to keep on keeping on here. All right, so Iron Wind Metals are the guys that do the that have all of the old Ral Partha molds. So they're the guys that have a lot of the old Battletech stuff, among a variety of other things. All right, the other side of Outset Games, we're going to work our way around these guys. Arcania's Workshop. All right, so this is a lot of fancy minis, probably some 3D printed stuff just from the looks of it, but probably some custom STLs. Here's a lot of custom woodcut stuff. We'll see around the other side of this booth here in a few minutes that the Gamer Concepts guys have some cool things there. There's the Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. We see these guys all the time. No idea what that game's about. Here's Geekifying Things. Lots of gadgets and gizmos. Some pretty cool maps. Some not so cool people just walking in front of us because they're not looking at where they're going. All right, we're gonna rotate around because the hall is getting a little shorter on us over here. What do we got over this way? Wildfire Creations, DM Dave Publishing. All right, so these guys have a whole lot of D&D adjacent sorts of things, some dungeons and lairs. They do look very D&D-ish. They got some cool things. If you're a fan of old school feel with the modern mechanics, that's where to go. All right, told you we're gonna come around the other side of these guys. So they've got the Dungeon Map Sherpa blanket right there. They've got a Dungeon Map tablecloth that is fairly cool. They've got the Dungeon Map shower curtain, just in case you totally wanted to geek out your house and ensure that your parents never come to visit ever. You get a Dungeon Map shower curtain. There you go. That's the other side of Iron Wind Metals. So lots of bits and pieces. Lots of very cool minis. If you're a minis dude, this is definitely a must-stop kind of place. If you're not a minis guy, then you can probably skip it. But that's pretty much all they got. All right, so Flatworks Gaming, no idea what these guys do, but Squadron Dice does look kind of intriguing, so I might come back and check that out later. There's the mandatory, amusing, and funny t-shirt place, Keep Calm and Nougat from Orbit. So these t-shirt guys have been here forever. This is Pegasus Publishing. There's also Off-World Designs, who doesn't seem to be here this year. I haven't seen him, so I'm not really sure. All right, so Wise Wizard Games, there we are. They're the guys who do Hero Realms, Star Realms, so lots of card games that everybody loves to play. Also around here, we're going to rotate in place. Foam Brain Games. Lots of dice and accessories and pins and collectible pins and dice bags with different classes on them. There's the Lost Tome of Heroes. We saw these things roll out at Gamma Expo, and lots of cool collectible pins that you can grab. All right, we're going to loop around Wise Wizard. Look, Troll and Toad, once upon a time, were trying to be the crazy Igors of Origins. Once Igor hung up his spurs there. And Troll and Toad used to bring a lot of older, out-of-print collectible board games. Now it's pretty much all cards and minis and collectibles that they can charge a crap ton of money for. Why? Because they can charge a crap ton of money for them. So this is where you get a lot of the character minis, a lot of the NPCs, the Yawning Portal Inn. There's Icons of the Realms, some of the bigger ones. The Yawning Portal Inn minis, characters. All right, we're going to keep moving. Board Game Manufacturer showing, so it's Gameland. There we go. They're showing off Dungeoneers and some of the other games they've printed. There's, who is this? Alpha Clash Trading Card Game. All right, good for them. VRsoft makes these are the guys that do the Swords and Sails game. So this is a fairly snazzy looking game. Again, sort of mix of medieval Europe and lots of adventuring around medieval Europe. Some fairly cool coins as part of the whole thing. We're gonna have to come back and check that out sometime. We've been eyeing it for several years from afar and never really dug into it. All right, so there's Byron giving the talk on Polyversal. So Colin's Epic is back here. Polyversal is their minis agnostic sci-fi system, so you don't have to buy Colin's minis to do anything. They've actually got an online tool that helps you build and stat out all the minis based on what it is that you've got that you're carrying around. Gives you unit costs and everything. We got a lot of photos on this, so check our site for the photos with these guys. All right, Long Pack Games and Toys. There we go. We're going to keep on moving here. JDB Games. Oh, great. So they're trying to do three-dimensional games. Good luck with that. DMless Adventures. Okay. Oh, these are the Limitless Heroes guys. We've got one of the Limitless Heroes books that's got a lot of they've got a lot of characters with varying abilities. So wheelchair heroes and heroes with neurodivergent conditions, and a lot of neat rules for those guys. All right, we're gonna keep on moving here. We've stumbled into some more artwork. Apologies for that. Didn't necessarily mean to. All right. Oh man, we got 2 more aisles to go, folks. 2 more aisles to go. Well, again, we've stumbled into some more artwork here. Sky Game. We're gonna scoot right past those guys. They appear to be a manufacturer, and that's not really something we're gonna be all that interested in. This is Cyber Wizard Games. There we go. There's the Cyber Wizard guys. So these dudes have been selling lightsabers to everybody. The lightsabers actually have their own soundtrack. They've got a little speaker in the handle that plays music for you. All right, Archon Games has some sort of doom and gloom D&D adventure-ish looking kinds of stuff. We're going to skip Double Infinity behind us because it's just more cards. Hey, look, more dice. Who saw dice coming? There's Byron hard at work selling some more Polyversal. Oh, this is the Spearpoint side of the booth. So he's selling more card games. All right. These guys are doing soundtracks for your role-playing stuff. All right, let's keep on moving. Wet Ink Games. No idea what those guys are or what they do. There's the... Okay, so Dragon Dice has been brought back to life by SFR Inc. So if you were a fan of Dragon Dice from back in the 90s, guess what? You can now play more Dragon Dice. There we go. There's the kickers. There's the base sets, Coral Elves, Amazons, Lava Elves, Scalders, Undead, Frostwings, all kinds of Dragon Dice. If you wanted to do Dragon Dice, you can still do Dragon Dice. It's the collectible dice game where the symbols tell you what you get to do. All right. Here's the other side of VR with more Swords and Sails. All right, so again, pretty cool looking game, enormous game. Not sure I'd ever get it to the table, but that doesn't mean I don't want to give it a try. So there's the Swords and Sails intrigue card game. All right, so let's keep moving. There's Academy Games. They actually got here more than like 10 minutes before the setup hall closed. So Reality Shift, there's Stellaris that might actually show up in people's doors someday. Maybe. We'll have to see. Alpha Clash, again, card game, really popular. Lots of people have been around there. Okay, so we've got some more of Academy Games. We're going to skip the other side of Troll and Toad because it's just Troll and Toad. Look, you've seen Conflict of Heroes. They're still selling it. You've seen Mare Nostrum. They're still selling it. What else we got over here? Sheepdogs. Haven't seen Sheepdogs before. To figure that one out. There's some Awakening the Bear. So there's a small Conflict of Heroes event. All right, there's Imagining Games. Got it. Here we go. There's Agents of Mayhem. So the 3D tabletop adventure board game. There's some more of Adventures of Agents of Mayhem. What do we got over here? Oh, there's Freedom. All right, so there's the Escape from Slavery board game. All right, cool. Let's work our way around these guys. Rest in pieces. Signpost Games. Look, this is we're out at the end of the hall here, where it's a lot of who the hell are these guys? And it's cool. Like, I'm glad they're here. I'm glad these dudes are doing their best to try and. Here we go. Modern Artifice. Okay, so lots of tabletop accessories. I'm glad these guys are here trying to make their way in the business, because this is how you keep the business fresh and interesting, and you get a lot of new game companies in town. Look, somewhere once upon a time, somebody like WizKids or Paizo started in these booths, these little one-man side booths off on the side of the hallway, Here we go. Skeleton Key Games, Do Fine Games. All right, board game manufacturer. Look, a lot of these guys are small one-man, two-man startups, and you know what? That's cool because we need more of those kinds of startups bringing fresh blood into the hobby. It's pretty neat that they're there. Okay, so good Lord, that took us at least an hour to get through the whole thing. We're going to walk our way back out of the exhibit hall. Hope you've enjoyed that look at it all. Hope my voice wasn't too terribly grating. Hope you've been having a good time checking out our Origins coverage over the however long we've been doing them here. I'm getting a little woozy and starting to lose track of how long it's been. Oh yeah, and I also need lunch because it's well past lunchtime. So we're going to walk our way back out of the exhibit hall, kind of wander our way back down Artist Alley. You're going to have to live with us wandering down Artist Alley because that's the fastest way out of here. And then I'm going to call it a day. And look, let's just be happy that I didn't take the time to spend showing you any of these smells like your tabletop character, adventure scents, and candles kinds of booths. Because here's the fun part of this. You'll notice I said booths, plural. There are multiple booths here selling RPG scents. Whether it is a tabletop scent kind of jar or whether it's candles, there are people here selling tabletop adventure scents. Go figure. Yeah. Takes all kinds here, folks. Bottom line, if you want some war game business back in the exhibit hall, you got to show up with wargamers willing to spend money here. Somebody's got to go first. Whether it's the war game companies or the war game players, somebody's got to go first. Somebody's got to go show up here willing to spend money. Somebody's got to be here to have the money spent on them. Enterprise Games does some serious business here because they're one of the few selling war game stuff instead of just role-playing stuff or just game accessories or just family-friendly kinds of things. If you get some serious war game business, show up, you're going to have wargamers show up to spend money on them. Again, over 65 war game events just in our area, and we are stacked. It is a zoo, and we are falling all over each other in the booth because we need more space. We're going to have more space next year. We're going to have more events next year. We need more of you guys to show up and play in those events with us next year. Hope to see y'all then, and looking forward to having some more wargamers join us at Origins, and let's kind of take our war games back.